2025. And, before I call the meeting to order, I asked people to find their 4.7 draft that Peter, our former city attorney, provided to us before he was passed away. And I apologize that I'm really irritated that we had to adjourn the last meeting because of lack of quorum. But this is our first meeting since July, and I'd like to kind of go over this language that Peter prepared for us for the duties of mayor and council president.
Actually, all he did was copy verbatim Tigard's.
Oh, did he? Okay. Anyway. Oh, roll call.
I'm here.
Here. That's it.
Yes.
Here.
Okay. Jonna? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I looked it over, and it looked all right to me. If anybody got any comments? You looked at section 4.7?
Yeah, no, I did not. We have it right here.
Okay.
I'm just looking for some other paperwork while we're.
The only difference between that one and the Tigard one is Tigard actually has it in 0.7 to 4.8, so they don't have it combined, president and mayor, they're separate.
Well, would you think it would be better to separate the mayor and council president?
I do sometimes. I feel they're separate. The mayor's duties, the president's duties can sometimes be the same, but a lot of times they're different, and by putting them in the same heading, it sounds almost like they're the same.
I tend to agree with you, because the mayor is going to be on a 4-year term of office, and maybe we should specify that in this language? Versus the council president is it specifies that section that it's a 2-year.
It's a 1 year.
Is it 1 year?
It's 1 year. Each year, the council.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So.
Okay, does everybody think that's appropriate, or
Yeah,
should?
whether you call it 4.7 or 4.75 or something different,
Yeah.
where their headings are different.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so what we're going to do is duties of the mayor, and then duties of the
I do have one question, comment.
Yeah.
And I don't want to change it, I just think we should discuss it. How long a mayor pro tem can serve. Basically, in this, a mayor pro tem can serve the whole 4-year term. If it happens on the day after, there's nothing that stops that. The council can appoint another mayor when we get to that point, but
maybe,
I'm only saying that because
No.
that's what's happening next door right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the discussion
Yeah.
items that one of the councilors brought up was just leave the pro tem in there until the end of the term,
Well-
which technically they can according to the
she
charter.
would have been wonderful. I know her
She did not want it.
Okay.
So,
Well, I have a suggestion. That's a very good point, that there's a general election every 2 years, that if we put in language that would serve until the first meeting of a year following a general election. So it could be, they could serve for almost, because it comes up every 2 years, and if we lost a mayor, even if in the middle of a term, we would just have another mayor on the ballot, the next
Well,
candidate on the next general election. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I understand where go ahead.
I was gonna say, there's also special elections, right? So, one of the things that I had suggested when I had an emergency and couldn't come, but, some language that is in the city of Westland, and it basically says vacancies. If less than 1 year remains in the term of the person who held that vacant office, the vacancy shall be filled by appointment, by majority vote of the city council member. And if it's 1 or more years remain in the term of the person who held that vacant office, the vacancy shall be filled at the next available May or November election.
And that comes under vacancies, which
Yeah.
we'll get to.
Yeah. But isn't that kind of what we're?
It is kind of, but it's not, because Mayor Pro Tem, there's the mayor.
Mhm.
So it's not really a vacancy of the mayor, because they're filling that vacancy. It's an automatic fill, and it's not, it doesn't go to vacancies. Actually, it's automatic roll.
And I will be blunt, most people don't vote except at May and November elections.
I agree, and when we get to vacancy, between this and the Tigard one, I think we can
Yeah.
conclusion on that. I just,
I'm just thinking,
my problem with the being specific in the whole general election, or whatever, it's a lot easier just to people to understand, is just say, hey, 2 years max, or something like that, to make it easier. And then they'll have to figure it out. But, it's not having anything in there. There was discussion of, hey, well, let's just let them go the rest of the 3 or 4 years, which they're automatically the mayor, so it doesn't go into vacancy. The council president automatically becomes the mayor.
Okay.
So there's no vacancy
and
for
then
mayor,
council will
they
appoint,
become mayor,
and then a council will appoint another
councilor.
president.
Gotcha.
Right, so that isn't really a vacancy,
Because that's how Craig Durston became mayor.
correct, so it's just automatic. So it's the kind of thing is, I only say that because the council discussion in Tigard was, one of the councilors wanted to just leave it the way it was and not even appoint a citizen or appoint a councilor. They just wanted to leave it the way it was, which technically you can under the charter. And if we said like 2 years, they could under this charter also, because it was only 14 months. So it's the kind of thing is it can work. It's an easier way than actually appointing a mayor. They just leave the mayor pro tem. The title stays pro tem that whole 14 months versus becoming mayor for that 14 months. If they appointed that person, then they become mayor, they backfill everything else. But it just stays pro tem for 14 months, which is a weird thing anyway.
Yeah.
So that's my problem of having it be that long, is just appoint him the mayor instead of having him called, because otherwise they stay pro tem.
Right, right. But what about just, if the pro tem stays in that capacity until the next available election? Then you could elect a new mayor altogether.
You could, but if you're going to appoint, and we'll get to that when we get to vacancies, that we still have to discuss, are we going to appoint or elect? What kind of number are we on? We're on
We're still working on
4.7.
4.7, and we're gonna split it, Ronnie. Split the mayor versus the,
So,
so we'll have a second section that's duties of council president. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, John.
it's just, I don't have a good answer for it. I
Well,
just think we
trying to-
discuss.
I was trying to think, well, I think we don't even actually have language
When-
for council, mayor pro tem, do we?
Because we don't have an
Right
elected mayor right now. That's if we switch to an elected mayor, then we have to come up with different verbiage, right?
Not, somewhat, but Tigers
Doesn't have.
It doesn't,
didn't have the appointed mayor either, and it still has the same language. So it's, what I'm trying to fix are problems they've had since they've changed their charter, and now all of a sudden they come into play, is that the kind of thing is, Do we care if they leave the mayor pro tem, or do we just want to, you could say something like, hey, they could be mayor pro tem for 3 months. And during that 3-month period, they've either got to appoint them as the mayor, they have to have an election, or they have to, appoint a citizen as the mayor. It puts a limit on that pro tem part.
Okay, I can go with that, but I would say 6 months.
And that's fine too.
No, it's just.
I just think, I thought 2 years was a little too long, and I just threw it out there because of an example. But I
okay.
also,
All right, let me give another scenario. Viva is the council president, you're the mayor, you keel over, or you commit horrendous, felonious things. And so Viva is mayor pro tem. Can the council then just appoint her
yes,
as the permanent mayor, and then they can appoint a councilor?
correct, and that comes under vacancies.
Okay.
But it's how long this council president is mayor pro tem, could we say, for a maximum period of 6 months, something like that.
Yeah.
I think would fix the other
Well,
issue.
that-
We couldn't go 14
Well,
months.
that would allow, there's all these notice and this and that requirements that are really technical. That's why,
I think 6 months works. I just didn't think 14 or
Right.
36 or some
Yeah.
other kind of thing.
I just wish it was maybe more of an opportunity for people to vote again as opposed to.
That'll come under vacancies though.
Right, but
Then if we,
you're appointing the mayor, the pro
No,
tem.
all we're appointing them is mayor pro tem.
Right.
And we're putting a limit on how long that can be.
Right, but then you said at the point, after that expires, they could be appointed as mayor.
They could, which comes under vacancies, which we'll discuss under vacancies.
Okay.
We don't discuss that under this.
Basically, unless we put in language that says within that time frame, you have to call a special election.
and nobody votes.
But that still wouldn't come under duties. That would come under vacancies.
the procedures rather than defining the duties.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so.
The duties is what we're defining,
Yeah.
and then in the vacancies, we talk about the procedures of when we appoint, when we elect.
So, Ronnie, we're gonna wanna put vacancies after duties.
This shall be,
Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh, did you lose it again?
if we put a comma,
Those days.
if we put a comma after mayor pro tem,
Okay, get me back to, all right, let's see.
in the event the mayor is unavailable to serve, the council president will serve.
Right.
Comma, for a
Maximum of 6 months.
Right.
This is really small.
He's having real trouble. It kicked him off again.
You know, half the time if you're having trouble, like, I'll be talking to somebody, go, things are really working slow today. And I go, yeah, I've noticed that. Then I talk to the next client. Things are really slow on the internet. You know, and then something else, let me go, well, yeah.
So, okay, so I put a comma for a maximum of 6 months.
Yep.
Mm-hmm,
I move we edit that.
yeah.
And I'll make a motion that we separate did we already vote on the other one, or just put them in the same motion? That we separate the duties of the mayor and duties of the president into 4.7 and either 4.75, however you want to do it, or 4.8.
Number 8,
Whatever's easiest, and we put a comma and for a maximum of 6 months after mayor.
Mayor pro tem.
yeah. Okay. Is there a second? All those in favor? Rodney?
Oh, we'll write it down. It's being recorded, so we can,
We got it.
he's gonna have to,
Or do we need to do a voice vote then?
Aye.
John's aye.
Bob, aye. Viva, yes.
I'm aye.
Jennifer, I.
Sit over here.
Sorry, Rodney.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, this is what we just moved.
And John made the motion and I seconded it.
Yeah. Is, we did it in one motion, to split these into two, duties of the council president.
Okay.
And since we're moving vacancies, the numbers are gonna get reshuffled again anyway.
And renumber appropriately.
Yeah. And then
Renumber appropriately.
in the paragraph of council president will serve as mayor pro tem, put a comma there. And then for a maximum of 6 months. After mayor pro tem. Maximum, I know, my handwriting.
Okay.
My handwriting is so bad now. I'm doing it most of the time.
Never good. In the fourth grade. Learn to type, because I got those.
Okay, so I have John,
Viva second.
Just gonna have to get the voice too tight.
Okay, so we need to vote on the motion has been called. Can we do a verbal, or do we need to do a roll call?
I'm good with,
Okay, everybody raise your hand. It's unanimous.
We actually kind of did verbal on the recording and went around and said our names and voted too, so that is back up.
Trying to make okay, now, do we want to, how about, I'm gonna suggest we do prohibitions before we get back to, that's the next section. It's prohibited behavior. I'm thinking,
What's the number?
unless you think we should do vacancies first. Vacancies in the old is 4.04, which means 4.4, and we're moving that after the duties.
I think vacancies should come after duties before we do.
Then that's
That's fine, I wasn't, okay.
so we're moving,
We're moving back to what was 4.4.
okay, but are we moving that
We're gonna move that after
after?
duties
Duties.
of the council and, okay. It's, on mine, it's about back 4.04, or what was, and we had listed 4.5, so the numbers are gonna get reshuffled again. Everybody found it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. The only changes that Ronnie had made were to change shall to will and capitalize charter. So, now, back to this issue with the pro tem in terms of the 6 months. The question, so, that will require us to, obviously, I don't think anybody has any problem with A or B, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, well, actually, forfeiture of office issues.
I have a question
Yeah.
on, B.3,
Uh-huh,
the moral turpitude.
that is a legal
Is
term.
the term, okay.
Legal term, and that can't change it.
Turpitude covers a lot of stuff.
I was just wondering, it sounds like kind of an archaic term, so
No.
I was
I know.
wondering, do we want it to
But
be
it-
any more
but it is-
specific, like a felony
It
or?
is,
What is the definition of turpitude?
kinds of misdemeanors and all felonies,
Okay,
Prestige.
which takes longer to write. No,
Okay.
it's a term of art, and
Okay.
that's in.
okay, that's fine, I just,
Well,
Actually, Tiger did change that one, if you wanna look at it different.
I feel very uncomfortable, since if somebody gets in trouble, all of the case law uses the term moral turpitude. So,
Yeah, they changed it to ceasing to be a qualified elector under state law or this charter,
I don't think that,
which is more English. understand.
right.
But,
If you can't vote in Oregon if you, under moral turpitude, which means cease to qualify as an elector.
Okay.
for example,
I was just gonna say, I think of moral as being, what's right
The
and
moral
wrong.
word is the hard word, and I
Yeah,
understand where
and
you're coming
so,
from.
it's, what one person thinks is moral, another person might not,
well, because I've unfortunately been involved tangentially in a case like this where somebody was challenging it, and all the case law, so.
Is a legal concept in the United States. I just looked up,
Yeah.
just,
It is.
a legal concept in the United
It is.
States, and I think it's used, like you said, it still has that definition of moral, but it is a common,
So it's ceasing to be qualified as an elector under the state law or the charter.
I'm just thinking of, some of the, political stuff going on right now is, protesting ICE, or alerting people that ICE is coming,
No, that doesn't qualify.
it might, I hear what you're saying.
Well, I mean, Trump might try to say it, but.
Right. And there are probably some people, besides Trump, who actually, with, good, their own convictions,
Yes.
believe that to be immoral, and there's a lot of people who also would believe that is the best of moral behavior. So, it's, I don't know, to me it's vague, but if it's not to anybody else, then I can let that go.
Well,
I agree with you, but.
I agree, it's moral, that's it's
The word, the moral is the hard word in there.
because everybody has a definition of your behavior, I might not think is, but it does say, that's where some of them were saying, standard behavior, or, like, what Tiger came up with was,
5, cease to be.
yeah.
Qualified elector under state law or this charter.
Qualified elector.
but the problem with that, I will tell you, is if somebody challenges it, they'd still be an elector and blah, 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 until they are formally. But using the term moral turpitude, that'll pull them right away.
And this is where we have to balance legal versus trying to make it understanding.
Yeah.
I know,
And
I normally am all for making it simpler. This is one of those few cases where,
Okay, I can let it go.
okay, all right. Now, okay,
So, can I state something before I say it again? I'm not trying to, and I said this on day one, I'll say it again, I'm not trying to copy Tigard's charter. There's a couple points. Another one in this one also is, in Tigard's, it's vacancies in office, which is where we've had vacancies. And then they have a separate point called filling vacancies, is where you talk about, this is how you get it to be vacant. And then instead of having D here, appointments to fill vacancies, it's had that be its own point, is how you fill a vacancy, because we might get longer on how we fill it or how we want to fill it. This is what creates one.
From that point, I would add is, and it's always been kind of unclear of how to appoint sometimes. Because some counselors have these questions, they want to answer more, some are pointed, some are not pointed, some are, so if, I can see that, as staffing, I can see that working well if it tells us how to do our job correctly.
Yeah, I agree, and it seems like I think this is a really important section because a lot of the controversy that has taken place in the city, the conflict has been around appointments and how long they last and how they're.
John, I can't find my charter provision. What article is it?
In
5.5.
Thank
But
you.
then that's vacancies, which is what 4.5 is here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
The topic is
Other than the
vacant.
point is D, you know, where we get to section 4.5, section D, Tigers becomes 5.6, how to fill the vacancy. So it's a whole separate section
Yeah.
versus how you created a vacancy.
I think we should split up elections and vacancies. I mean, this looks, I read this, I couldn't find it today immediately. I found this confusing.
Well, it's also
I mean, I
one
understand it.
one sentence at the very end of a vacancy when we're not talking about how we're gonna fill that vacancy, it's a
Mhm.
whole separate thing.
Yeah. I mean, to me, vacancies, should we do elections before we do vacancies, or should we do
Well, I think vacancies is good all by itself.
No, I know, but I'm
Oh.
saying in order.
You have to have a vacancy before you can fill it.
Yeah,
So,
okay, I mean, that was kind of what I thought, but. You with us, Ronnie? Okay. Okay, so, well, looking at the provisions that are in the Tiger Council charter, in another day I will be much better.
Some wording in Gresham.
Hmm?
I just found some wording in Gresham that was, we were talking about that date limit. Appointee serves until the beginning of the year following the next biennial November election. I mean, they defined it, at least as a starting.
Yeah, for elections, that, I think,
We were talking about, you fill how long do you,
well, that's when, yeah, we were talking about when the pro tem would get
what are we doing now, vacancies or elections?
starting vacancies.
Okay.
I think we finished vacancies. I think we need to, other than moving D over to its whole new point, section 4.5, vacancies, ABC, I don't think we had any changes. So it was.
There was
moving-
something
Was
that,
there something in there?
I'm trying to remember, maybe you guys would
Oh,
remember.
well,
but
now,
not-
here's, in the Tiger Council, charter, they adjudicated incompetency. And in this day and age, medical science is doing wonderful things, keeping people alive, but not necessarily mentally competent. Do you think we should,
Well, it says, death, resignation, or removal from office, or forfeiture of office. Law.
so are you looking?
I'm looking at ours.
Okay.
There was a time, when we had the pro temp issue a couple months ago. Can't remember, it's like, it was pertaining to this, member's death, resignation, or removal from office.
Well, okay, I really think, adjudicated incompetence might be useful.
Is a good word to add here?
Yeah, it's in the Tiger,
Uh-huh.
it's, F in 5.5, this is Tiger. Because we have had counselors who shouldn't have been counselors.
So, I'm gonna just name these all off. So you have death, resignation from office, recall from office, ceasing to, reside in the city, ceasing to be a qualified elector under state law, which I think we already talked about, adjudicated incompetence, conviction of a felony, or absent more than 30 days from a regular meeting of the council without the consent of the council, and a declaration of a vacancy approved by unanimous votes of all council members, subject to the vote, or removal pursuant to section 3.
Well, we've got most of these currently in our charter.
3.7 is interference.
Oh, interference, okay. I would add that.
Yes,
So in other words, Or you're suggesting maybe that we take these 9 and move them into this, and maybe stay with the,
Yeah, but,
stay with the moral turpitude instead of on 5.
yeah.
I'm fine with that. I like in the current charter that says 60 days, because the difference is King City meets once a month, Tigard meets once a week, so 30 days meant they missed 4 meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And so in reality, 60 days in reality is only meeting 2 meetings, missing 2 meetings, so in Tigard, they actually had to miss 4 meetings.
At one
So,
time, it was 3
It's basically a
meetings.
month, right?
It was 3, yeah, so
And
I'm not sure if it should be 60 or 90 days, because in reality, 1 month or 2 months, it's only 1 or 2 meetings,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which, you're right, whether we had 3 meetings or 4 meetings, it was 6 or 8 meetings, so
oh, yeah,
My
Yeah.
point is,
is,
but I,
is 60 days even too short?
But-
I don't know.
but we, at three unexcused meetings, when I got on the council, that person had to come in and explain why they had meetings, and if they didn't, we would move to remove them.
So,
And that was before you had the Zoom capability. So
There is
it's a lot easier to attend.
It is, but I like 60 versus 30 days.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
just
but yeah, 60 days.
Exactly. I'm, yeah.
so for me writing this out correctly,
Mm-hmm.
am I copying Tigard's the whole thing, or am I just keeping it as, here it says the councilor's term of office will become vacant upon the member's death, resignation, add recall, cease to be a resident, and
Most of what we have already, it's adding a few things.
okay, correct. So I'm just, so up here I can just add death, comma, recall, comma,
Adjudicated incompetence.
incompetent.
In my durable power of attorney forms, I have a provision that says if 2 doctors say that this person is no longer competent, then my durable power of attorney goes into effect, and that person can no longer vote or do any of, can't make legal related decisions.
I think, I'm fine with that. I think what he's asking is, does he take these 9 that we have here in Tigard?
And just basically make it a bullet point.
Bullet points here, or do we add to this one, so?
I would almost lean towards moving to the Tigard one. It seems like it's, a little more.
Except
Except for the one,
Except for 3, we'll keep 3 in there, and
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 then,
then change it to 60.
and 60 days.
in 60 days.
I am
Yeah.
hoping that the council will start going back to meetings twice a month, because they're just not getting through their agendas. And I'm sure you noticed that
Longer.
when you were in council meetings, after 2 hours, your ability to concentrate goes down dramatically. Well,
I don't think it ever will.
Okay, we gotta stick back on charter.
okay. All right. So,
We got done vacancy wording.
mhm.
Okay, so do we need?
Well, wait a minute, now, are we clear on the pro tem as relates this,
It doesn't affect vacancies.
It'll be in the,
It's in filling vacancies.
okay, all right. I'm just making sure we're all not dropping a ball because we're looking at 3 different things.
Do we need a motion to?
Yes, I think we need a motion. Would somebody be willing to move
I so move.
the language?
I second the language that we copy Tigard's with the 2 exceptions of the .3 and 60 days.
Yes. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody. Unanimous. Well,
We're getting some stuff
You have to
done, though.
get consensus before we take a vote.
yeah,
That's the difference.
and, okay,
And work it out, yes.
so now we're ready for,
Now we're adding, filling vacancies.
Yes, we're adding filling.
where's filling vacant?
It's not
It's not in ours.
It's a new,
It is in ours, it's under D. D,
Appointments,
to fill vacancies in elected office.
oh, yeah,
So that's the D, so that's what becomes the new section, but then how we reword that will be a whole different thing.
Okay, so we're gonna separate appointments to its own
Mm-hmm.
item.
Yes.
Tiger just called it filling vacancies. We already determined how a vacancy is, and then now we're just gonna fill it. Currently, it says in King City, appointment to fill vacancies in elected office will be made by the council action even if the membership falls below the quorum otherwise required. Is that we might want to keep anyway, but it doesn't really tell us how we're gonna fill it.
Yeah.
So,
Let's look at,
I say we look,
Look at Tiger to start with, but I think we're going to need to either change it and or expand on it because there were some issues that I spoke with the counselors on currently when they were just having to appoint when, somebody just quit, and they wish there was more wording in it they were having questions amongst themselves, and they wish there was more wording in it.
yeah.
So it currently says in Tigers, in the event in the office of a mayor or a counselor, I think it should say mayor, comma, mayor pro tem, or counselor becomes vacant.
yeah, because it
Mayor Pro
wasn't,
Tem is,
Yeah, it
add
might not have a mayor at that time, it could be just a mayor pro tem.
Right.
Tiger language, in the event, the office of mayor pro tem,
or counselor.
Because we've already handled what happens if the council president becomes vacant.
Okay.
That gets handled.
or
under
counselor
council
becomes
president.
vacant before the
They just have to
normal
appoint a new,
expiration.
Right.
elect a new one.
So this one here, removal from,
This is a whole new section,
Becomes vacant.
Vacant before the normal expiration.
and adding mayor pro tem. We got a deal with the issue we were talking about half an hour ago,
Right.
or 20 minutes, sometime. I'm gonna start, Ronnie, with D.
Well, actually, I think D would be,
Yeah,
D, I think
the
should,
second part of this.
yeah, that's,
Okay.
well, D is gonna
It'll
be,
be below what we put here.
yeah,
I think it's like a second or third paragraph. It won't be the starting.
that's, we are keeping that language.
mayor or,
Yeah, I think that, to me, that's whatever the last
Pro
paragraph.
tem or counselor. In adding mayor pro tem in that language.
that should be,
Yeah. Mayor pro tem. And, yeah, all you're doing is adding mayor
There we
pro
go.
tem.
and then D goes into here.
Now,
D goes to the bottom. Okay.
okay, can I
It's a
have
whole new
the,
paragraph.
thank you. Okay.
Not, it doesn't go there. So here's where your discussion comes in, whether we, currently Tigers is, and I'll explain why, and it says, the council may fill the vacancy for the remainder of the term by election or appointment. Because in your other point you talked about, with the special election may be only called if the election will be held at least 1 year before the term would otherwise expire. So, let's explain the last one first. The last one is like the current case. If we're after the November election, therefore the first election Tiger could have would be March. Or they could call a special election and pay for it in January, but they'd have to pay for it. So from a financial standpoint, usually you don't call a special election. So it would be March, okay? At that point, it would only be 6 more months until they're gonna have an election anyway.
Right,
And so why pay for anything and deal with it? So if you're in that last year already, there's gonna be an election that same year.
Right.
So the special election may only be called an election may be held 1 year before the term would expire. Sort of makes sense, which is sort of what the Westland one you were reading also said. So I agree with you on that one. The other one, it talks about the council may fill the vacancy for the remainder of the term by election or appointment. The reason that Tiger did that, and it used to be even more so, is originally only election, then it was only appointment, and then they changed it to say the council gets the choice of whether they want an election or appointment, okay? That reason being, committee felt that the council grown up enough to figure out who they needed, what they needed, and why they needed.
Yep.
Now, I do agree that there is a lot of points right now, even though whether we talk the Tiger language or the Westland language, where why don't we get to vote? My answer is you actually got a vote. If you elected a counselor, you had a vote in electing that counselor. All the council is doing right now was appointing one of those counselors that the citizens already elected to be mayor for a short period of time, 14 months.
I'll give you an example, Jennifer. We lost 2 mayors in a year and a half in Tigard. It was critical that one of the sitting, and we were in the middle of horrendous change. And to appoint somebody to be mayor from off the street in that situation was absolutely untenable. We needed to have, and then they appointed somebody to be on the council, to fill the slot, which one of them happened to be me. But it's really almost impossible to get up to speed as mayor if you haven't been on the council.
And just to clarify, it's not the mayor that I'm so concerned about, it's the counselors. Because appointing a counselor has not been elected.
That's true.
And that, I think that is where a lot of the conflict has happened in King City in the past, is the selection of the counselors by appointment as opposed to election. I don't know that there's been any controversy that I've heard about the mayor.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that. But that's,
I get where you're,
that's my
yeah.
concern.
yeah, I get where you're coming from.
But we're not gonna spend the money to have a special election.
I also agree that having it in, March or November.
No, May or November.
May or November is fine.
So we
I don't know
could put it in there as saying whatever the closest election date is, so maybe for November. That's, so if the mayor.
You'd also have to qualify for that, which is like 3 months
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah.
90 days before
90
the
days
election
before,
date.
or, whenever the last day.
So it would be, so 70 days from the election date.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to,
Post the vacancy.
well,
And
no,
You have to
so.
have like a schedule, because
Schedule for the special election, put something on the election.
In order for somebody to file for the election, it has to be has to be more than 70 days, I think.
Before the election.
Before the
Yeah.
election.
Which is late August for councilors in a general.
And the mechanics of it, I'm not an expert. The only thing I just would like to see is fewer long-term appointed counselors.
Right. So I can see this working, but also not working too, because so if somebody resigns in October,
Right.
they can't be on the ballot in November.
Right.
So they would have to go until May to be.
And if it's an election year, you would have to appoint them anyway. They couldn't be elected because if that term was up anyway, if that person's term was up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the main thing is just, you don't want to have a lot of 3- and 4-year appointed counselors.
Correct. I get it.
So that's my only concern. So however that works mechanically with that, is fine with me. I just.
We wouldn't have the situation we have now,
Exactly.
which has been
It's just, from what I've heard from people, they wish they can vote for a mayor. And that's
Well,
one
and
reason why
and
we're
that's
here
what-
talking about it.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to create an
Agreed.
elected mayor.
And I agree 100% with that. Back to the point earlier where she said it's okay if it's the mayor, it's the councilors, we're back to the point of, I'm trying to copy what's happening next door, and people are still saying, I wish I could vote for the mayor. You will get to in 14 months, but
Mhm.
right now,
Mhm.
we need to appoint because we have to get through the period of what we have going on to put somebody brand new in that. And they're done that. You don't want somebody
No.
brand new in there.
No, it's
Yeah.
chaos.
And so, I think,
To your point that they voted for the person that's mayor now, he was an elected official. You didn't appoint somebody that,
Off the street.
well, or just the candidate that didn't win.
But they could have
Yeah, you
appointed
could've.
off the street, which they have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jim Griffiths appointed, Jack Schwab appointed, okay? So they have appointed people off the street, which they can, and so, and the question here is that what we want also, or do we want a sitting councilor to be the person appointed mayor, so we don't have the worry of somebody brand new?
That makes sense.
And then you appoint a new councilor
Mhm.
to, or elect.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You appoint, and then you fill it with an election
Yes.
in the process that comes.
What a lot of people will do is they will appoint someone temporarily until the next general election.
But
And they've done that in the Senate. Think about the U.S. Senate. There've been a lot of people who've been appointed to serve until the next general election, and they cannot run.
Let me throw another wrench in this. We'll take Tigers, for example. They just voted 5-1 to appoint one of their councilors.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if those two councilors had gone out to the public instead of the six, we don't know what the result would have been.
Yeah.
And so, in reality, you're not letting the public have a say on that mayor's seat. But it is only 14 months, but it could be longer because,
So like if somebody, yeah.
actually, it can't be longer.
Oh,
It can't be longer than 14 months, because if it was 15 months, they would have had to have an election anyway.
Yeah.
So it would be 14 months or less that it only comes into play. If it's 15 months, they would, the 70 days plus the next election would have fallen into place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's May.
I understand your concern. As much as I'm happy with the situation that's occurred here, I still have a problem with special election. I really want to wait until the next, in the next.
Yeah, we all agree that. We don't want to spend any money. We don't have to.
Well, yeah.
And we don't have to.
Just so you know, no matter what, the city always spends money on elections.
Yeah.
We have to.
Charge,
You
yeah.
have, but your share when it's a general,
Yeah,
a
so
mayor
our
or November
general-
election is cheap.
Our general is usually about 4,000, a little less than 4,000. The recalls were about 555, so.
And it,
25% more.
and again, if you put multiple things on a ballot, it is not going to, like if you had a city ordinance that you were voting on and a candidate, it's still the same cost for the election. Or there's probably some paperwork.
You know, let me look into that because it might be statutory that the recalls were cheaper because it's a
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But if city does something like an initiative or we
I
have
remember
some- that
when
might be,
When
that
I
might
was
be-
on the Tiger Council and they put together that group to stop, light rail, that was horrendously, I remember
It's a special election.
for that special election, it was really expensive.
Yeah, and I think we're all in agreement, not a special election.
Yeah.
A regularly scheduled election.
May and November, and you need to specify May and November.
May and November, yeah,
That-
and that's,
That meets the,
so
Meets the spirit.
how am I going to put that in here?
And as I said, in the US
We're gonna find
Senate,
wording from
they'll
someplace else
appoint
and copy it.
somebody for the X number of months. And then in some states, they can't run themselves, and other states, they can run for this. The person
And I would
that's
think
appointed.
in,
Oh, that's,
in the city of.
that's it?
I think when a person takes a migrant and remove the or appointment,
I can't see the tigers, I'm,
Sorry, I'm,
tigers,
you're stealing.
I'm
Where are
trying
you?
to.
I'm
so
sorry.
we're trying to figure out how I should write this in here to make sense, for the election part.
Right.
Remainder of the term by election, or appointment, I think it's by election. I don't want to just say period right here, because then it would always be, but in there's cases, the next sentence, a special election may only, I also don't like the word special election.
Right.
Yeah, I think for that, we would just put in May election or November
Yeah.
election.
Yeah.
Isn't there a term for those?
Well, one's a primary,
Primaries
one's
in
a
general,
general.
primary general.
But you saying May and November, it
It implies that.
implies that,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least to me.
And everybody,
I agree.
and,
Unless or I can change the primaries and, generals, to a different month, we have to change our charter.
no, that would have to be, that's in the Oregon Constitution.
Right, but I'm just trying to think that,
If the Oregon
What
Constitution,
if?
if we made an amendment to the Oregon Constitution, we might have a problem. The odds are pretty slim on that.
I would say they're slim to none.
Because it also is,
That would,
multiple state dictate.
and that would
The United
have-
States dictates
that
that
would
we have the November, isn't it?
yeah, actually, that's in that's in the US Constitution about.
November, but I was just in North Carolina, 3 days ago, and they were having an election,
Oh, yeah.
for their Congress and, for
Oh, they
state
were
council.
having-
They were in election, and, they had it last Tuesday.
Well, Washington, it's,
So, North Carolina and Tennessee
They
just
don't-
had it, so.
and I don't understand.
Primary date is different.
If I were Queen of the World, I would not have our primary in May. I would have it the same time as Washington, which is like, isn't it like the last week in August or the first week in September, something like that? You like it, May?
No, I like it earlier than that, but that's a different point. We're not gonna discuss that. The point here was, do we actually say May and November, or do we say general and primary?
The primary and general election.
Let me
Mhm.
write it out here and see.
See if the attorney has the choice of one or the other.
Yeah. I
Give us
like what
those
you
two
just
options.
said. This is the spirit we want. You give us the best language from your expertise.
Yeah. Except that we don't have her.
So,
Well, that we ultimately will get somebody that's going to agree
back
to
to
advise.
this first sentence, we still,
Okay.
we're allowing an election or
An
an
appointment.
and this group is not sold on having an.
That option,
Having an option,
council?
No.
this group.
Oh,
We've already discussed that a few times.
yeah.
And so I think that's where we're at, but how do we reword this sentence? It's a really long sentence, and then if we just remove the word or appointment, at some point in times, we need an appointment, so I don't want to remove it from one sentence, and then people say, but you
Okay.
say you can't.
Do you, okay,
You say you have to have an
do
election.
we want to say appointment, appointment until the next
That's the last.
primary or general election?
Remove the term by election, comma, or an appointment
Until
until
the next
the next.
primary or general election? Does that make sense?
And I think, Ronnie, your point here of having how we fill a vacancy
Vacancy also sort of
comes into play here is,
they still would have to meet the 70-day requirement.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so nowhere in the charter does it say you have to meet that, but in reality, you have to meet it.
But-
It's state law.
It's state law, so you don't have to really
but
work
so
the charter
if,
that way.
if we have an appointment and they know their term is going to end after the election, then the notices would go out from the city saying, anybody who wants to write for the seat that John Smith is sitting on, you can, and you'd have to do it, you do it about 6 months in advance.
Yeah, I do.
With the notice.
I like to be, actually, no, I do it sooner. I do it every election year, I put it like 12 months out before.
Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, so that there'd be plenty of notice to the Jane and John Does of this world.
Achiever.
Yeah, but I don't want to say for this last sentence,
Special election.
first of all, let's remove the special. An
Yeah.
election may only be called if the election be held at least 1 year before the term would otherwise expire.
I would say
We need to add the 70 days. We're not gonna add it in here, but in reality, you have to have the 7 days, but you don't need the 6 months or 12 months of notice before that
No, I
also.
would say probably,
Well, if we're gonna put the language in appointment until the next primary or general election, are we gonna be calling special, special elections?
no. No, because you would, because May and,
November.
May and November, no, it wouldn't be a special, if anything.
So I don't think we need the last sentence, am I correct?
We need it because we need it to say, like,
Remove the word election, special. An
special.
election may only be called, because you still can have an appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An election would only be called.
But-
So, I think the problem before is the remainder of the term by an election or appointment, we're giving them the choice there. So if there is 3.5 years left on the term, and the first sentence, Tiger gets the choice, they can appoint that. You're saying that whether it's Westland or somebody else, it'd be nice if we actually said it had to be an election. But the appointment part comes in when the next sentence applies, when an election may only be called. So in that case, we have to have the appointment word in there.
Right.
So I think somewhere we need another sentence in there that says,
This is,
That's
that's what.
like appointee serves until the
Oh,
election.
that's good.
So we're putting a time limit on the appointment.
An election is not final, Jennifer, until 30 days after the date of the election, which is, late June and late December, which is why people get sworn in January. So,
What we want is that the appointment would not serve longer. The appointment would be until,
14 months or less.
yes,
So I like A,
filled with the election.
I like A and B of Westlands. C gets, and the reason that I like
where does,
Westlands is because they put the special election first, and so it says, we can read that out loud.
I think A makes a lot of sense.
I like it first, because Tiger
read that
puts it
loud?
last. Can we read that out loud first?
Less than 1 year remains in the term of the person who held that vacant office. The vacancy shall be filled by appointment by a majority vote of the remaining councilors. The appointee shall serve the remainder of the unexpired term. So if there are less than a
We're starting with that, which is good, instead of, if Tigers, we
Like
ended
the
with
letter.
that.
Yeah.
I like starting with
Yeah,
that.
I think
I agree.
this particular language.
So we do
I like B.
A, and then D will be,
E is at the end.
D is at the
Yeah,
very end.
okay, if 1 or more years remain in the term of the person who held that office, the vacancy shall be filled at the next May or November election, which is what we were just talking. The person elected shall serve the remainder of the unexpired term. Now, okay, this scenario. Jane Doe is elected, and she's sworn in, and in February, she keels over. It's it's too late to get it on the May,
So it would go to November.
so it would have to go to November.
An appointment for that many months. It would be
I'm just
best.
trying to think of all of the
Yeah,
permutations.
yeah.
I think that makes
Well,
sense.
they're not required to appoint either, they can leave it vacant till November.
Well,
That's right.
That's it. That's it. That was the issue.
Appoint or not appoint.
Yes.
That's the issue.
That's good.
I come up with it.
I didn't think this was gonna come back around.
Yeah, okay. Hold on to that.
Do you? That we should be operating with 6 counselors for any length of time. I don't think that's a good idea. That's my
look,
2 cents.
here's-
worth. That's why I made,
Let's finish A and B
Yeah,
first.
yeah. So A, I like A.
yeah,
B, yeah. Yeah, right.
I wrote, do you have to appoint?
saying who held it, shall be filled at the next, May or November election. Now, in theory, that could be off-year May election, off-year general, but
Yeah,
it's,
that's fine.
Right. It can, because I don't think,
But see here, there's always an election in May, and there's always an election in November. This might not be us. It could be Beaverton or Tigard.
well, we've got
School
two,
district.
we
School
have,
district,
we have 2
bonds.
things, the
ABF and
library and the sheriff's office are up.
Yeah, so they'll be in November.
The question is, and I'm sorry, this is a cynical person, most people don't pay any attention unless it's the even year, the vote primary, and,
I agree with you,
We only had like
Good.
40% of our,
but it's a cost issue. And so as long as somebody else have an election, it will cost us less than having a special election.
I'd be
And so I
curious,
think,
how much,
That's
is
important.
is there a difference,
Beaverton's.
is
I don't know if you wanna
there a difference
look at
in
that.
cost in a primary or general election in a year versus the regular?
Not that I can tell. So when we do our police levy, which was just last year.
Yeah.
I just was confused, I just,
Yeah,
the item, it said compare.
okay,
So,
all right, I'm just,
and then we've had,
I know, I'm.
you know, we've had
petty.
our elections with the primary, or with the, you know, the presidential and governor and all that,
Right.
and it's still the same.
Okay,
So,
well, I'm just,
yeah, it's our shared cost, which is
I'm
about 4,000.
just asking.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I like what's looked better, it's not as wordy, and that's Beaverton's price,
Okay,
It's wordier.
okay,
Yeah.
this
They're
is,
paid by the word?
this is Steverson's language, guys. If 1 year or more remains in the term of the person who held the vacant office, or for any reason the office is not filled and no person takes office when the term of office otherwise would have commenced, i.e. a death between the election and January, council may fill the vacancy by majority vote of the remaining councilors, and the appointee will serve as an interim city councilor until a successor to the office is duly elected and qualified off. You know what? I like the language,
I like a few
Interim.
words.
interim city councilor.
I like that. There was a lot of words I went,
Yeah,
whoa.
but I like the term interim.
there was one sentence or a couple words I didn't like, but I don't mind
No, I'm not,
adding to the other one.
no, I'm not, I'm just,
Yeah.
I like West Lynn's, but I like the term interim city councilor.
Yeah, part I don't like, and no person takes office when the term of office otherwise would have been commenced.
Yeah.
That's where you lost me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, all I'm saying is I like
Yeah.
the term interim,
That's why we're pulling.
and I don't think,
different ones.
I don't
So
think
if we look at
voters
West
would have a
Lynn's,
problem with that.
Then
That
can you use the
term,
word
this is a,
appointed, are they,
because
well,
people have seen.
well, that goes back to our point, do we have to appoint or not, which is different. Then they're in an interim.
This one, it's all.
If they're appointed for the next 14 months, because we can't have an election, they're not an interim.
They're appointed.
They're appointed. Okay? The interim comes into play is if they appoint somebody, but we're gonna have an election in November. That your person, they died in February, and we're having an election in November. That one, I like the term interim for. And that one, we have to figure out where we're gonna put that in here on, do we have to appoint or not appoint?
Talking about. Okay. Because I'm not sure, I mean, I understand, you know, somebody dies in February, we will appoint somebody to serve until the November election.
Mhm.
If you decide to do that, which we have to discuss. But then I like calling them interim. I agree. If we've appointed them, to fill the next 14 months because of the Section A that says we don't have time to have an election, it's the last year, then they're not an interim to me.
I disagree, but
It's sort of like the mayor pro tem versus the mayor. That's the difference to me.
So since there's a lot of complications going on, does it make sense to kind of draft something of what we think and then take another look at it the next meeting?
And the attorney look at it in between,
Yeah.
or whoever.
we could have somebody by a month from now.
I have no idea yet, but
Yeah, but at least we
I'm
could,
getting really.
They could probably do a brief, review of that and say
She's
what,
been told she can't do anything.
well, she can't attend the meetings because it's, a couple hours, but can she just look at a thingy?
It's
And
take-
probably, I'll just have to get the mayor's permission and.
that would make sense.
worth asking. And I like that
So,
concept of
I'll do is,
right up where we are.
Where we think we are, and then
And-
pick it apart, because it's a little hard to pick and draft at the same time.
Mhm.
okay, so I'll add that.
But I like Westland, was it Westland?
Yeah.
You like
Westland, but I like the term
Interim, that hold interim for Beaver.
that tells the voters that we're not trying to pull fast one. This person's there to hold the seat until,
So right now I have add interim somewhere.
well,
Put it where it's appropriate.
you understand what I'm
I do, yeah. So I'm gonna, do you need this? No. Okay, I'm gonna steal that then.
Wait out, copy.
We have papers everywhere.
Well, it's like, a lot of places have done a lot of work,
Oh.
and where we can.
There's no point in recreating the wheel.
Exactly, and.
No, I have absolutely
Customize from there.
nothing to do with that. Okay, now,
Something I was taught early on, if you get a good letter and you like wording, put it in this file.
all right, I want to make sure we're clear on this election, on the vacancies.
Okay.
So we basically adopted most of the language that's in Tigard. We're going to make it 60 days for calling somebody out.
We voted on that,
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did vote on that.
Yeah.
And then filling vacancies, we've added the mayor pro tem language
Mhm.
in the event the office of mayor, councilor. Did we vote on that one?
No,
We have not.
we're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna vote on that one, this section.
That's where we're gonna get the wording and written
Okay,
out,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then cogitate it a little more.
But we're, basically, I think we have noodled this.
We have, except for the one point of,
Yeah, that's our next discussion point that goes along with this. Do you have to appoint or wait till the election and leave it,
All right.
and leave it
it's
vacant?
not anywhere.
It's not anywhere.
It's not anywhere.
It's just a conversation.
I would like to vote on the mayor pro tem edition, because that's simple, and then the attorney doesn't have to look at that piece.
Tell us what you want then. What are we voting on?
5-6 in the Tiger Council, in the event the office of mayor or councilor, and we decided we wanted mayor pro tem in there.
I don't have any problem voting on that, but it's where it is in the whole section where it has.
That's because we have a lot of stuff that's kind of
Okay.
Moving pieces?
moving pieces,
This one piece
so,
is,
yeah, and that might,
this language is gonna be,
let me work on that one,
okay,
and then, I'll just make a note that this is the important one, so
Yeah.
it'll probably be
yeah,
item A.
yeah,
Um,
okay, because that's
But then
kind
at the
of,
next meeting,
because that
we'll look
is
at it
the-
and vote on it.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to make sure we're not dropping any balls
Yeah.
as we go along. Okay,
So,
so back to,
And then we added the pro tem, and now we're back, are we back to, do you have
We are.
to appoint?
yeah,
or can we leave it vacant?
So, in the past, there has been ambiguity about appointing a mayor or council president. And the question was, do we have to, or can the president run the meeting until we have a new mayor? And
Which is what we've been just talking about.
right, so that's
Kind
the
of.
point,
This
is
is
like,
special.
does the mayor, or does the council, if they don't have a mayor, because,
We use Tiger's example, it's easier. Yeah. Heidi quits, right? Maureen becomes mayor pro tem. Right? Not an option, okay? Council president automatically becomes mayor pro tem. There's no appointment of it, it's automatic, that's automatic. We talked about having it be a 6-month, all it can be,
Yeah.
but that's automatic, so there's really no option there. The question became, and this is even, we'll take Tiger's example, is if they don't appoint Maureen the mayor, you actually have to fill the council president. And Tiger did not fill the council presidency because Maureen was mayor pro tem. And so since she was mayor pro tem, until they actually appointed a mayor or elected a mayor, she actually got to fall back
Back to
into
being
council
the-
presidency, which was, we had that same issue here.
yes.
Okay? And so it's the kind of thing is you really, until that pro tem, whether it's mayor pro tem or anything, you actually leave the council president vacant. You just have somebody else run the meeting if that mayor pro tem is not there.
Yeah.
So E ran the meeting 1 week when Maureen was out of town. So it's the kind of thing is, I don't think you should vote for a new council president once that council president becomes pro tem, because most of the time, they're actually going to step back down to that council and be state council president, and that's who the people, this council voted to be council president, so they should finish their term out. So I think wording that a good way, it would be important,
Yes.
because it's happened here, it's happened next door, and I think it's important that we somehow state
Yeah.
that the mayor pro tem does not remove that person from council president. The council, maybe under
The council
president we have, it says that we have an election once a year for that. Somewhere in there, we should state, and moving up to mayor pro tem does not remove them from being council president.
After the,
Until a mayor is appointed or elected.
It's still,
Bring it back to this, but I think that's important because both cities have had that same issue in the last year. Yeah.
okay, and we were talking about appointing an additional council. That's where I was. You went back.
I went that way because both cities had an issue.
Yeah, both cities had an
Okay.
issue with it, so.
Now, I'll tell you why I think we have to have somebody appointed. And that's because you can have a 3-3 tie, and we had it happen here
We did.
2 months ago. And so nothing happened. It happened when I was on the Tiger Council. We only had 5 people at that point. And it was 2-2. And so nothing gets done. You've got to have an uneven number of bodies.
It doesn't always, it could still be created if somebody abstains. We also had happen here 4 months. So it doesn't, but it lessens
Prevent
it.
it.
It doesn't prevent it, it lessens it.
That's why it's important to get that extra person.
So I actually like the point of you should appoint somebody versus just leaving it vacant.
So, just on top of that, though, we have to do at least 30 days for
Because of the
notice.
yeah.
Right.
And then it could take another 30 days, depending on
Council meeting.
council meetings, them arguing, debating
Yeah.
over things.
Minutia.
So there should be, at that point, the pro temp mayor should, run the meeting, but still have the president seat open though, right?
It stays open.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're back to that other point I was making.
That's a separate
So-
issue.
Right,
That's a
so,
separate issue.
right, and I hate to beat a horse with a stick, but I know I said that wrong. But
We knew what you meant.
Right? So,
Even if they're dead.
but back to John's, issue and our issue that has happened is we were at that standstill during that time when this happened,
Mhm.
is the mayor needed to be appointed at that meeting. That was the argument, which is, I agree, it should be done.
Mhm.
But at the same point,
Okay,
the mayor, I'm sorry, the president at that time was trying to run the meeting.
Mhm.
And he was said, no, he can't run the meeting because we need a mayor. And
It
that's where,
wasn't-
that's where our code,
But
that's
they
where our.
didn't understand the concept of
But,
mayor
but,
pro tem.
but to their point, they are kind of right, it's because our code is vague. It's not,
But that language goes in the charter.
yeah,
Not in-
so that language should be in the charter saying, okay, the
Mayor pro tem
Council president who becomes mayor pro tem.
should run the meeting for
shall have, and that's
They
what,
have the right.
three
but
months
that's all the language
you know,
we've got. That
until a mayor is appointed.
we have that language in our new officer and the mayor pro tem, language we created.
Because I remember the argument was, you're not the mayor, you don't have right to do, I mean, it was a real vicious circle of the
Okay.
wording, and they kept reading
just
this
duties-
small paragraph. And it,
Well, I just want to make sure that we don't run into any issues.
that same one we had.
Okay,
Yeah.
but council will elect a council president. The council will perform the duties of the mayor in the mayor's absence and so it's right there in that language. That's the language we were
This one right here?
adopting
Whenever you
from
want.
Tigard. Yeah.
This is the language from Tiger that we added to things.
We've already,
It's that 4 point,
we just, it's
this is
in,
the one we just did.
we just split, remember, the mayor and the council.
Council president.
Right.
Oh.
Duties,
so that's-
duties of the council
That we said
president.
So that when you're appointed,
I remember that, I just didn't know where it was, so I
I
wondered
don't
what the
either.
number was.
If we split what's
Vacant.
in Tiger 3.3 and
But I think it was 4.7, and we didn't come up
Oh,
with
we had
numbering
numbers, though.
because of the renumbering that we're doing.
so we've
So
addressed
add-
that issue.
Okay, perfect. As long as we addressed it,
We addressed the issue that came up when there was kind of the argument of what duties does this
Yeah.
appointed, or this, that you stepped in, do you really have the duties?
That is-
And now we've defined it.
Okay.
That is,
But if, let's go back to 3.4 on Tigers, where we
Added for a maximum 6 months. I think we should, at the sentence after that, if the council president vacates this position, the council will elect a council president to serve the position until the next council president. I think we need to state,
are you back in,
I'm back to 3.4 in Tigard.
okay, yeah.
And we added the comma, and then we said for a maximum
Right.
6 months. It's the
Right.
sentence after that that I'm worried about. It says, if the council president vacates this position. Somebody could say, once we made them pro tem, they vacated that.
yes.
And somehow we have to state right here that that isn't a vacation of the extra duty. Correct.
It's, yeah, they
It's
have,
not,
they have-
it's not a vacation.
They have added the
If the
duty
council
of mayor.
president vacates this
no,
position.
they're not vacating, it's, they've taken on additional, they remain council president, but
Right.
acting as mayor
Would it
pro
be
tem.
even better to state that in here?
I think so.
We have to figure out the wording, but we're all
All right, I think
We know why, we know the wording needs to be in there,
I just,
and that's where we're gonna get
because
to.
I could see somebody
All
saying
right,
they vacated that.
I think we should say, here, pro tem. After that, the council president acting as pro tem, mayor pro tem, will continue to be,
Does not vacate.
does not vacate their position as council president.
Sounds good, yeah, that's that.
That's simple enough?
Yes,
Yep.
yes. I think that's very important. It would have
Handled,
Well, no, that's not. I just gave you a sense.
we still have, but,
Yeah.
but I think these are more important issues than that.
And then,
I agree,
and
'cause
period,
like
and then
Gretchen
the
said,
council
no one
president
has
does
to
not vacate their
No, I
position
understand
as,
that, it's just,
You know what, it's, we're always gonna have something,
as,
like,
There's always
there's gonna be
somebody.
council.
somebody that abstains,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
like our mayor has to recuse herself a lot.
Yeah, so there's gonna be
Still gonna be-
three anyway, so.
Yeah, that, yeah,
Can't avoid it, you can lessen it.
Yeah.
And putting that language I just said,
yeah, that,
they're not vacating their
I think that's important.
that should take care of 90% of the,
we added language that a lot of these cities are gonna pick up from us. Is
Well,
what I
only
think.
if they've run into the same issue.
oh,
Well, they will.
well, and that's what's nice about cities getting copies of other people's, because in theory, and I think we should put this in our charter, guys, that there should be a review of the charter at a minimum every 10 years, but preferably every 5 years, because things are changing so quickly now. I would recommend adding,
Very end.
yeah, at the
I read someplace like census year, like you
Oh,
do in the same,
that's
or
minimum, but
like if, like I said, it's the minimum, so you take census, and I would think you'd want it the following year, because then you get the year after census.
30 in the 1 year after, because the census
It's always in the 0 year,
is 0 year, and put it,
and then you'd recommend a 6-year too.
recommend a review every 5 years,
Mhm.
not necessarily to
You got
do
that
the,
one, Ronnie?
I mean, obviously that's something to go to the end, but
Yeah.
part of the problem with this charter is almost all of it is the original charter from back in the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, I'm going to say it at the planning commission meeting that's coming up. The city became insolvent in the 1980s. It had 2.5 full-time employees, plus, they had 2 regular officers and the chief of police. That was the entire staff. They had a part-time financial person, they had a part-time receptionist, and
You guys are
the
gonna make
city,
me work.
the city manager / city of recorder. They did not have the money or time to do anything, and that did not change until about, there were enough development had
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
So how do we, get in here that we have to have an appointment and they can't leave it vacant?
So I think in that, here, it would be like item C. Council must appoint within
Okay, where are you,
60 days.
are you in the Tigard or out?
No, I'm just talking,
In general.
This is a general concept.
Yeah.
yeah, the general concept, because I think in the code it says shall appoint, the council should make good efforts to appoint,
Yeah.
at some point. I can't remember if it's 30 or 60 days.
That's,
Let's remove the good effort part. If the charter
No.
changes it, then the
No.
code will have to change.
I think it's shall. I think we just, that is one of those shall places. There are occasional times that people can waffle on will. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Would anybody have a problem if that's the one place we put shall?
I have an opinion.
We have to come up with the words are first, so.
Yeah. I really appreciate you guys coming and working on this, because it was so hard having missed all that time.
to
Here it
search
is.
for good wording.
And the majority of the council shall make every effort to fill the vacant council position within 3 months. I think
We need to remove the every effort.
Yeah,
and
just
put
shall.
and shall.
What was that?
This is,
City code.
28,
city code.
okay.
How do we put that in the charter?
I would probably put that in there as,
Before D?
probably, the last one would work too, I think. Because,
Which section are you talking about?
we're talking about,
Like my building
Oh,
vacancies.
yeah,
so you have
Okay.
your A, which I have your thing, that's gonna be the first one.
yeah,
Then we have B here.
Yeah.
And then this here. I think just putting that as the last one. So,
then it will not allow any, yes,
yeah.
make it very black and white. Okay. So, again.
You want that after the fill vacancies, fall below the quorum otherwise required? Or some of that one?
I'm sorry,
D, that's your current vacancy one that we carried over from,
yeah,
Vacancies, and we carried it over to,
yeah.
it's in your current,
The current-
4.04D.
D,
It needs to stay last, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Because it doesn't, that happens less often than the one you just
yeah,
mentioned.
and this is the one where I think shall.
Oh, okay, I understand.
That's the one where we
So-
want to
so it
keep
would
it
be-
shall.
It'd be E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D would become E, and then make the one you just
Yeah.
said, make that D. That's what I like.
Yeah.
but we're not gonna vote on it now anyway.
No.
No,
But I like it, I like the order.
okay, I'm gonna make one more comment for the purposes of the recording, that we have come up with the concepts that we want to be in, in the charter, and the acting city attorney will review this and, come up with the suggested language that affects the concepts that we have agreed on. I don't know, do we need to have a motion about directing the attorney, or?
Well, it might not be the city attorney, is what Ronnie was saying, so.
Yeah, just, for right now, just leave that one open and I'll come back with it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there's a direction
Yeah.
that has to happen.
I got that.
I'm not trying to make your job, I'm trying to make your job easier.
No, I'm
by-
good, because I have to transcribe all this anyway, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, should we do a motion about the concept of directing that?
If you want, you could do a motion to direct staff to get review of the language,
Of these
rather,
concepts?
and that will take care of, whether it's LOC or
Okay.
our attorney or.
I suggested, we've agreed that we're gonna send these concepts that we've all agreed to be done. And I would feel more comfortable if we have a motion directing staff to, to draft the appropriate language to affect the concepts that we've just discussed about, filling vacancies.
Great. I move that we ask the city staff, direct city staff to have review of the wording so that when we meet next month, we can continue assessing, fine-tuning
The concept,
the concept of
Filling vacancies.
filling vacancies.
is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous.
It was kind of a
I'm gonna
group
make it right.
motion, huh? Motion.
Yeah, well,
The words, we got it.
well,
That's what
I
we're
just
doing.
feel it's,
It's written down now.
it's written down and
written
it's
on.
safer for staff.
Okay.
That's been an issue.
And, I'm gonna steal your glasses, John.
Okay, so, all right, we've just done filling vacancies, And we've dealt with duties of mayor and council.
Duties, mayor's of council,
Remember, that's where we
Yep.
split it into two sections for mayor and.
yep, we did that one,
Yep,
we did
yep.
that one.
The next one,
There's prohibition.
Prohibition.
okay, now okay,
Additions.
yeah, whatever, what was 4.6 in the current, now, you mentioned this earlier, John, about the no interference.
Yeah, so,
That language was 3.7 in the Tiger
So-
Council.
yeah, so, but we
Charter.
do already have that in 4.6, duties of counselors, section E.
Okay,
We put that in there. It says, no council member may directly or indirectly coerce or attempt to coerce the city manager, the city attorney, or municipal court judge, or candidate for the office of the city manager, city court judge, with appointment or removal of city employees.
is
And
this in, what is it now? It's in C?
it's in the, red line.
Oh, sorry. And it's, where are the prohibitions?
4.6.
So it, just to jump back, one called vacancies, where we
Mhm.
adopted the Tigard ones, where Tigard said 3.7, ours would need to say 4.6, or whatever our number is.
Yeah, okay. So now, the current charter has prohibitions in a separate provision by itself, whereas
Mhm.
Tiger just had it a sub-paragraph under duties of counselors.
Yeah, so what we can do is.
I kind of
we can
like
just-
having a separate one.
Yeah, so we can have, so you want two? Is that what?
You don't want it stated twice.
Okay,
No,
So,
but have it be a
but-
separate section.
so what you can do,
Continue to vote.
section 4.8D, what was Tiger's, what is
It's
that one?
4.6 is the prohibition in our current,
Right,
Charter.
I'm looking for Tiger.
Tiger's right here. Oh, I just took it out of my hand.
I know, I keep doing that today.
You keep stealing it.
Borrow, remember?
Sharing.
But then I don't know what you're talking about.
Stealing would be moral
Good night.
3.7?
or chuckling or whatever.
7? Here,
Stealing has to be a
3.7,
certain
and that was
amount
under,
at a certain time.
that's the council,
That's just,
You can't interfere.
yeah.
We don't wanna, you know,
Different
Pass
from a
any
prohibition of you can't, the prohibitions, it's who qualifies to be in it.
Well, these are
that's
things,
elector.
these things, the term, that's a really basic, now, A is really basic, and I think it's important.
I thought in Tiger it had somewhere in here, it says something, 3.7.
It was in this, it was,
My little IE comparison, they kind of, Tigard had some pretty concise language, rather than
Yeah,
seeing it out, it says, in administrative decisions or employee matters, rather than the law.
we'll look at it.
I don't see it in there now, I know I've seen it.
Well,
but-
it's the no interference.
Yeah, they have the no interference, but,
Yeah.
but there's a section in here, it says, it says,
Do you guys not like the language that we have?
I think.
Prohibition?
for improvement.
No, I'm not saying it can't be tweaked, but I like conceptually,
As long as we don't have it in here twice.
yeah.
here it is. So,
This is
What-
Tigard.
yeah, so it is in, in Tigard, section 5.5, vacancies in office. It says absence in 30 days from, and this is section H, and it's on the very section I, removal pursuant to section 3.7 of this chapter.
Correct.
So if you could add that to prohibitions, maybe. Something like that. So you're not saying the same thing twice.
I think what Gretchen's saying is there's certain prohibitions here that are different from,
That's, this
3.7,
is not the same thing.
right,
it's not the same,
That's not the same,
not
what we're doing here.
right, it'd be different,
It's apples and oranges
yeah.
to be,
But I swear somewhere in
Tigard's, charter, but maybe it's not. He talks about that they can't hold public office. But I'll have to look for that. I could-
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm seeing that in my comparison here.
That's where Gretchen's
For
at.
public offices.
Yeah.
For public office.
yeah. And I think A is fine in our current council, current charter.
That's different. Those are,
I can't,
Hey,
they're different to me, and I agree
Mhm.
with Gretchen, is holding a separate office is different than
You can't be,
coercing
can't be the mayor here and be a
school board
county,
member.
school board member or on the county commission.
on county commission, yes. Can't be mayor and a county commissioner.
Or even, I don't, think
I found that in other,
planning commissioner.
I thought we had it in there, but I don't know, I don't see
like,
it.
currently, we say, King City says council members cannot hold other elected
Yeah,
public office or city employment during their term.
yeah, because it creates a conflict of interest.
Neither the council nor its members shall control or demand the appointment.
Now, I have seen cases, in plenty of other cities where the interim city manager, actually, the mayor or one of the councilors were appointed to that position. I've seen it in Scappoose, I've seen it in a few other places. So Amity, where it actually happened, but at that point in time, they actually had to step down from their council role, which didn't vacate their position on council, but until they appointed a new city manager, they filled that position. So it's hard to say they can't be employed.
But our charter, we have a provision for acting city manager. In this case, it's the police chief. I'm not sure that's the right person, but the point is, we have an automatic provision.
Yeah, but we're rewriting the charter right now, so.
Right, so if we wanna have a council member be able to do that in the future, you know, just for,
Mm-hmm.
Not that you would want to, but in some cases, it made sense.
and maybe sometimes that was the only option, you know? A period of time.
That really,
They can't vote, they have to remove themselves.
no, I understand, it's just, it's really
Not ideal, I guess it's like, you know,
I mean,
scenario.
the only time I could,
Maybe we're a big enough city that doesn't come into
I
play.
think,
I'm just thinking
yeah,
in the Amities and other cities
There-
that have done it.
we
they're
have,
much
but
smaller.
we are no longer that tiny a city. I think especially since with the build, we're
And the other thing is, you're right, most of the cities where I've said that, they didn't have a full-time city manager. Okay, in essence, it was a part-time
yeah,
person, therefore that counselor filling in, I have to Detroit, Oregon.
Yeah.
I can name
But
multiple
look-
times, but in reality, none of them really had full-time
those
managers.
are all cities of generally under 3,000 people.
Correct.
And,
So,
by the time this goes to a general election, we're gonna have probably 300 to 500 more.
I'm not suggesting a lot of times changing things, I just think we should discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm an
Because it's in record
employee.
that we thought about it,
Mhm.
and we made a conscious decision, rather than saying,
Yeah.
they never even addressed it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
So I'm an employee here,
yeah.
obviously. But I'm also a board member with Washington County Parks.
That's an appointed position. That's not what we're talking about.
But also, I made sure with the city that I was okay with it
Mm-hmm.
because it's Washington County Parks.
Yeah.
Washington County, but we have no Washington County parks here, so there is no
Okay.
conflict of interest.
I currently
Yeah.
sit on a couple advisory, on the, I'm a steering committee member. That's an appointed position. In theory, it could
Should be fine.
in theory, and if I saw something that could possibly, I would say, hey, I have this appointed position at the county level. And this question I was about to raise when you, my question was, could a city councilor sit as a county planning commissioner? And that potentially I could see being
A conflict of
a
interest.
conflict.
Mhm.
But, you know, that's the one thing that popped out with this language.
So, when I was elected mayor, I was the county budget chair,
Right.
Oh.
and county wanted me to continue being the county budget chair.
Yes, I didn't want to replace
Because they didn't want to lose me
Right.
after 19 years.
Right.
But the city was like, no, there's too much conflict of interest there, and/or it would look like a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
Appearance.
and that's
In
what,
reality, I stepped down
yeah.
from that after
Well,
that.
that's
So
why I,
I think it's important
yeah,
that an elected official not be even, you know, budget and planning are the only two
yes, the
that
real
are
conflict would
required
be the
commissions
planning
of a city
commission
or a
and-
county,
and the,
and I think that also should be.
I think maybe we should add those
Saying
two.
you should not be elected
Or
appointed to a planning commission or appointed to
to a county
county.
budget committee, a county planning commission. Because I could see that being,
It was, and so like the county was,
yeah,
I get it, the county wants whoever they can find, but
yeah,
the cities, we have a conflict of interest, or appearance.
yeah.
Even if the appearance, you don't want the rest of the cities going, well, wait a minute, why are they getting that?
Right, that somehow they're getting a special deal.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, because
So I like having prohibitions, I think it's
yeah.
important.
And then only thing we do is add, county planning commissioner or
County budget or.
county budget committee. So, okay. I even have to be careful. I'm the treasurer of an international nonprofit. And we've had to tweak our language because they moved our business office to California. We've had to do a lot of
So,
switching.
Back to A, I like A.
Yeah,
Now, B is where we come into, we've already talked about 3.7.
So does that,
B is the part where we have the
Yeah.
issue. I like the A part.
yeah. The current A.
okay, so current A is good. We're
Yeah,
good to go. I'm
yeah.
just adding appointed
To the planning
CP
commission and budget
from
committee, the county.
county, yep.
Yeah,
So B is,
B are basically the no interference that we've already added.
well, wait a minute, where did we add where's the
so the
interference?
other one is in, E of, city duties of counselors,
All right, let me just,
right here.
okay. Well, now, did we actually add this language? This was suggested,
It's under legal, it says legal review,
so,
this part should be under legal review, and it's
I think it was the wording was under this review, but we voted to actually put it in.
okay, all right, I'm just
Yeah.
making,
That's what I remember.
yeah, okay. That's the problem with not meeting.
Exactly.
so neither this council or any of its members shall control or demand the appointment, or removal of a city employee whom the city manager is empowered to appoint.
Is that language in here?
Council shall directly or indirectly coerce or attempt to coerce the city manager, city attorney, or judge, or a candidate from the office of city manager.
They're pretty,
Much the same.
Okay.
There's, and then in an administrative decision or other officer
sentence of B, to, council may express its views and discuss with blah, blah, blah. It's in our current charter, the second sentence says, the council may express its views and discuss with the city manager anything pertaining to the removal of employees. I kind of have a problem with
They can bring issues, so just say like,
See, that, to me, that is, that is putting pressure.
See, if you leave this in here, you have to keep that first sentence. I'm just saying.
No, what I'm saying, we keep the first sentence, but the second
The second
sentence
one's gone.
gone.
Right. Right.
Because that in and itself is coercion.
Okay, so. Okay.
Does everybody
We
understand?
do, but are we keeping the first sentence? Is that already duplicated in our other section? Is the question. It can hurt to have it twice because which one you have to go.
All right,
So I think it needs to be in one place or the other.
okay, then we just get rid of
The whole B.
the whole thing, but do we want to have anything in this language? Because I didn't see anything in this language, E, that says council's not going to be harassing the city manager.
In 3.0.
In Tigers 3.7,
You have one today? No one. Oh,
But I just see,
They're already showing you, huh?
I can't enjoy it.
We already say no council,
I just want to make sure we,
yeah, say no council member.
okay, yes, okay, I'm fine, I'm cool,
yeah, we already.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have that in here, so, the other section part here, it's a little bit worded better. Says, in council meetings, council members may discuss or suggest matters with other officers relating to city business. Worded differently, but it's the same. So it invites conversation,
Yeah,
but
but in our
this one
current
here,
situation.
but you do want conversation.
Yeah, but in Tigers, they've already defined officers, they're only city manager, city attorney, and the judge. There are only three people they can hire and fire. So I think her point, which I really agree with, is you shouldn't say, he's part of the police district. Right, and that should never come,
Or the planning,
or the planning director, whatever, that, the council should never direct that and or discuss that in a meeting.
they only can
They only can
discuss
control the
city
three
manager,
that they hire and
city
fire.
attorney, and I'm having a
Judge.
judge, yes,
Okay.
judge.
So those three, they have direct
Yes, they appoint
influence
those,
over. So B should really just go away.
yeah.
Okay.
I have a question about that. So if the council has a concern, you know, that's been raised about an employee,
They
Yeah.
talk to the city manager,
this
that's
is-
it.
Yeah.
privately,
So, yeah,
not in
right,
a,
not
not
in
in
a
a.
meeting.
Not in a
Okay.
public
It's an
meeting.
HR
It's
issue.
an HR
It's
issue.
creating
Okay.
a potential lawsuit.
It is. Every time we talk about it,
So we have
Okay.
some
That,
lawsuits
that makes
pending.
sense. I just didn't want to see it like, or I was concerned that they couldn't have any input whatsoever.
And that's why, and the questions came up on the council, and they're valid, is, well, then we can't ever talk about the city manager then. Well, the city manager you can.
Yeah,
It's
because
because
they are,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it's only,
Here,
Gotcha, okay. Sounds like they can do it in private.
they can raise an issue private, but not in the public,
Okay, that's done.
and that's been done a lot.
part C. We got rid of B.
Yes.
So part C, what do we think about C?
Yeah, there it says, they shall deal with that solely through the city manager. Or, and I think we should put acting city manager. And then we don't,
The and except in the absence of city manager.
I'd get rid of that. No, as I say, I think we should just,
I don't, hold on, I'm reading this, so. That's for the purpose of inquiries and investigations.
no, we're not talking about that. Oh,
See, yeah, we are.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
no, we were beyond that section.
Okay, except for the purpose of inquiries and investigations, this council or its members will deal with city employees who are subject to direction of supervision of the city manager.
Solely through the city manager, and I suggest take the rest of the sentence out, but put in or acting city manager.
That could be clearer.
Could be rewritten in English will be here.
Yeah. But we want to add the language acting
So
city
basically,
and get rid of
So
the
supervision of the solely through the city
city
manager
or acting, and then get rid of the rest of that.
I think if you
well,
reworded it in,
English grammar, you basically,
and I'm gonna throw this on the wall because I'm not an English person. Basically, you're saying the council shall deal with employees through the city manager only, or interim, or acting or interim.
So, we'll get to that part here, for acting city manager, because even we had questions at that time. So,
Yeah, but for purposes of this,
So
we
for-
want to make sure it's,
or
the council shall have any concerns only to the city manager
Through the city manager.
or the acting.
Whether they're having an issue with the city manager or not, they still can only
Talk
go
to
through the city manager.
That's right, it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't change.
And the current council,
Exactly.
and so,
What about this
I'm adding pro tem on there,
yeah,
because our code has it in there twice.
Okay.
So it says, or not our code, but our chart, it says
Yeah.
acting city manager, which is only in office for like maybe 30 days or something like that, because the
Whatever.
city manager's on vacation, whatever.
well, yeah.
But then the pro temp is,
Well, then say acting or,
yeah, perfect.
but, and get rid of the rest of,
Okay, but I do kind of, and then get rid of and except through the absence of.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
get rid of that.
But then also, I think it's hard in the,
I think Viva has a question on,
first of all, why would you start the sentence with an except for?
Yeah.
You put the
I
except
think
fors
we
at the
should-
end of a sentence.
The council or member
So
shall
I,
deal,
Also, do we even need that except for in there?
no,
Well-
not really, it says, for the I would.
Well,
if-
okay, let's say, and I'm gonna,
Let's say Ronnie's under investigation.
yes, you're being investigated for doing horrible things.
Too many good things.
Congratulations.
Anyway,
Not charging money.
but still, the council cannot be talking about you in the council meeting. They have to
Go to the city manager,
manager offline and
and if they don't think,
issue their concern.
and that's who they go to. It doesn't matter who the city manager is, if they have an issue with the city
It could
manager,
be Ronnie,
they still go to him,
or it could
or
be
them, yes.
anybody.
No, I'm trying to, I get where you guys are coming from, I'm just trying to word it correctly in my head. I think this is gonna be one of the ones that I come back to with you guys next month.
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I don't have a problem with rewording the sentence, but I want
Okay.
it to be clear that council
We start.
keep their,
Yes. Sorry, late, it's just.
Motion that city staff will,
yes, let's have a motion to direct city staff to reword, section, what's
I
current,
say I move we remove section B,
yes,
section C, we need to
Reword.
reword it
to
to.
direct that any concerns or inquiries,
Should go for.
reappointment,
Go
need to
through the
go
city manager.
solely through the city manager or acting city manager,
Or pro temp.
pro tem.
We want a motion on that.
I just moved.
Somebody move, yeah.
Good, I second what John said.
Okay, any further discussion? All, everybody, it's unanimous. One second, please.
All right, because we're out of time.
Yeah, you just start late, you're on the clock and you're probably ready for lunch.
Unless you guys want to continue.
No, I think, I'm getting, I don't know about anybody else, I'm getting tired.
So we'll go back to 4.9 next time.
Yeah.
And then we'll look at all the other stuff that we looked at.
Okay, well, we're done with Article, we finished 4, and what if we got left? Oh, the compensation.
We have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have,
Still on 4?
Yeah.
4.9 and forward.
And we're, in some ways, we're going to still review, because
Right.
we've got the wording going.
Okay, so
Review it and continue.
I move,
maybe we should start next week or next month with the stuff we've,
Yeah, we'll start with that, and then we'll go to 4.9.
Yep,
which is
yep.
the
compensation.
compensation issue.
And,
Our next meeting is November 14th
yes.
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock.
And the following month will be on the 12th of December.
Yeah, John,
for adjournment.
I second. Oh,
All in favor?